Hey guys, and welcome back to EQ Planes, and today I'll be flying a pretty special flight. Today I'll be flying on Lynx Air's inaugural service from Calgary to Vancouver. Without further ado, let's get into this. First, we have the check-in process. There were a few hiccups with some of the boarding cards during check-in, but that's to be expected for the first day of operation for an airline. After going through security, I realized that there was a media event pre-security, which I unfortunately didn't attend. Now, let's take a look at our aircraft for today. This is a Lynx Air 737 MAX, which took its first flight in early December of 2019. Registered Charlie Golf Juliet Sierra Lima, the aircraft sat in Seattle throughout the 737 MAX crisis and pandemic. The aircraft also sat in a different livery, which in my opinion looked much better. This is one of 3 Lynx Air 737 MAXs currently in their fleet, but the number is expected to grow to up to almost 50 aircraft by the end of the decade. As an ultra-low-cost carrier, it'll be interesting to see how Lynx competes with airlines like Flair Air. Now, the Canadian aviation industry is quite competitive. However, with the backing of Indigo partners, who own airlines like Frontier and Wizz Air, it's reasonable to think Lynx is around to stay. Now, at the gate, as expected, there were some festivities, including these cupcakes handed out by Lynx Air. But now, I'm going to leave you with the words of Maren McArthur, CEO of the airline, the ribbon cutting, and the first ever boarding announcement for Lynx Air. Enjoy.
Bonjour. Thanks. Welcome, and thanks for flying Lynx Air on our very first flight today. We are so excited to welcome you all on board. I'd like to tell you a little bit about Lynx Air. We know Canadians want to explore the country that they love and also reconnect with family and friends. It's Lynx's mission to make air travel affordable for everyone. Lynx has adopted the ultra-low-cost carrier model that has been very successful in the Europe and US, lowering fares and opening the skies to all. The model is about simplicity, efficiency, and empowering customers to pay for what they want and nothing more. Today, we're officially launching the airline with our first flight to Vancouver, and we'll quickly ramping up our network over the coming weeks to span coast to coast, from Victoria to Halifax and St. John's, and 8 other new destinations in between: Kelowna, Winnipeg, Edmonton, Toronto Pearson and Hamilton. We're here to redefine the perception of ultra-low-cost carriers in Canada. We believe that low fares should not mean low quality. Today, you will be flying on our brand new, latest generation Boeing 737 aircraft with leading edge fuel technology and beautiful cabin interiors. Enjoy. We've developed a transparent a la carte pricing model so that you only pay for the things that you want, which means you can save on the journey and spend more where it counts, at the destination. Consistent with that model, we will not be offering food or entertainment on board our flight today, because we believe you get better value and choice by bringing your own food and entertainment. So if you think you might be a bit peckish on the flight, you might want to pick up a snack from one of the vendors at the airport before you board. However, we also do have some grab and go muffins, or cupcakes actually, I think they are, here. So please feel free to grab one of those as you board. That's a special treat. We're not going to do that every time you fly. Just a one-day event. Thank you for making history with us. Merci beaucoup. Thank you.
Three, two, one. I am Debbie and I am part of the customer service team here in Calgary.
Now, let's board onto our flight and see what the cabin of this brand new 737 MAX has to offer. Now, my first impressions of the cabin were it was quite modern. The Boeing Sky interior makes the 737 cabin look absolutely great. Another thing that stood out to me right away was actually the carpeting, which looked really unique. Now today, I'd be seated in row 7A, which had an excellent wing and engine view, but believe it or not, that wasn't even the most exciting part of sitting in that row. That's because Tim Morgan was sitting in my row, who not only founded Lynx Air and Enerjet, but was also a co-founder of WestJet. It was really nice being able to talk to him, which made what was already an amazing and memorable flight even better. Now, let me leave you with a special announcement from the captain and Lynx Air's first ever takeoff with paying passengers from Calgary. Enjoy, and see you back when I'm in the air.
And Angelina. Today's a special day. You're all joining us for the inaugural flight with Lynx Air. Today's the beginning of an exciting new chapter in the book of Canadian aviation. While today is the result of years of planning and preparation, nothing would be possible without your choice to fly with us today. For that, a sincere thank you for joining us this morning. Airtime today is 1 hour 16 minutes. Weather conditions in Vancouver are expected to be overcast skies, light winds, 13 degrees Celsius. Without further ado, welcome aboard and let's go to Vancouver.
The seatbelt sign on. For your continued safety, please ensure your seatbelts are...
Now that we're in the air with some beautiful views of the Rocky Mountains, let's take a closer look at the seat and the product that Lynx Air is offering. First, let's take a look at the tray table. The tray table was, well, pretty small, but it did rest a good height above the knees. Now the seats had okay legroom, especially for an ultra low-cost carrier. I'm 6'1" and fit in just fine. The seats themselves certainly weren't the most comfortable seats I've ever sat in, but I have sat in much worse. My only real gripe with the seat is the lack of charging ports. However, if that's what needs to be done to help keep fares down to $39 one way, I think that's fair. You could tell that everything on the aircraft was made to be ultra light, everything down to the seat buckles. However, that's just one of the many things low-cost carriers can do to save on weight. Now here we had a drink service that they handed out, which was just water, and that's all they will ever hand out is water. Now one of the big pluses to flying this flight was that it was full of av geeks and other YouTubers who made trip reports, which I must say made things nice because it wasn't super awkward trying to get all the footage. Now let's take a look at the aircraft lavatory. Now what can I say? Really, it's just a standard 737 lavatory. And that's about it. It was fairly clean. In the back pocket, you had the Lynx Air 737 MAX 8 safety card. Notice how they do put MAX 8 on there, unlike Air Canada, and an air sickness bag. Now, I hope you enjoyed Lynx Air's first ever landing into Vancouver. and stick around because there is more after.
It's gotta be a pretty good day for you, right?
One step in a big process. Next step is to make it profitable. Obviously, we do this for fun of it.
Now that we were on the ground, there was another small event in Vancouver, where I'll leave you quickly with another ribbon cutting event. Now after that, the Vancouver Airport Authority took us and some fellow AV geeks on a spotting adventure. I must admit, it was really nice hanging around the other AV geeks and being able to talk aviation. They bussed us out to a location on the south end of the runway in Vancouver. There were some snacks, however, there wasn't a lot in the way of airplanes to see. However, that was okay. It was a pretty nice gesture. Now, as this Lufthansa 747-400 comes in, which I went to go see later in the day as it's my favorite plane, I'll talk about my final thoughts about Lynx Air. I think Lynx Air offered a really good product for what you paid. I think that Lynx Air will be able to pull through because of their good company culture and backing by Indigo partners. However, that's not to say it will be easy. Anyways, I'd like to thank you guys for watching and hope to see you guys back next time.